Here's today's a crazy fast about Egypt. Let's go. Egypt is desert, but there is lush greenery along the Nile River. Although more than 95% of the country is desert, there is fertile land in the Nile River basin, where most of the population is concentrated. The Nile River may not be the longest in the world. The Nile River was once considered the longest river in the world, but recent studies have suggested that the Amazon River is longer. For your information, the current official statistics are Nile River, 6,695 kilometers, and Amazon River, 6,516 kilometers. The length of the Amazon River is subject to fluctuations in values due to the identification of its source and measurement methods, and it has been pointed out that the river may become even longer in the future. Cats were sacred. In ancient Egypt, cats were considered very sacred. Cats were not just pets, but were deified and were especially symbolic of a cat-headed goddess called Bastet, Bast. The god Bastet was widely worshipped by the ancient Egyptians as a benevolent guardian deity, responsible for childbirth, fertility, music, pleasure, and protecting people from plague and evil spirits. Cats were also regarded as guardians of people's lives for practical purposes, as they killed rats and vermin that devoured grain. Therefore, it was considered a capital offense to harm or kill a cat, and deceased cats were sometimes mummified and carefully buried, just like humans. The mummification process takes 70 days. This is according to the Greek historian Herodotus, who recorded that in the highest mummy-making process, the following steps were taken. First, the brain is removed from the nose, and the organs are removed and cleaned. The bodies are then soaked in natural soda, natron, for about 50 days to dehydrate and dry them. Further 20 days of drying, embalming, bandaging, and other finishing operations. This period of 70 days is considered to be the standard number of days for the making of high-class mummies for royalty and wealthy people, and is considered to include the entire process. The hearts of the dead were compared in weight to feathers. In ancient Egypt, it was believed that after death, people were judged in a place called the underworld. One of the most important parts of the judgment was the weighing of the heart ceremony. At this time, the heart of the dead is weighed in the balance with the feather of Mayat. Mayat is the goddess of truth and justice, and her feather symbolized rightness and truth. If the heart was as light as a Mayat's feather, the person's heart was judged to have been honest and lived rightly, and he or she could live happily in the afterlife. Conversely, if the heart was heavier than the wings, it was considered to have lied or done wrong, and the soul was thought to be eaten by the monster Amemito, never to exist again. In other words, comparing a heart to a feather was a symbolic ritual to weigh the rightness of the heart. Ends are super active. Approximately 60% of Egypt's population is under the age of 30, and young people make extensive use of social networking sites to gather and disseminate information. The proliferation of inexpensive Android smartphones allows a wide range of people to access the internet and social networking sites. And mobile data is more prevalent than Wi-Fi, and SNS application-centered internet use is common. Egyptian social networking culture is strongly based on humor, satire, and memes, and videos and short clips are very popular. The culture of posting everyday fun on TikTok, Reels, etc. is strong and tends to spread explosively. With the government maintaining strong control over traditional media such as television and newspapers, many people have come to rely on social networking sites where they can freely obtain information. Citizen journalism is also well developed, and it is commonplace to share images and opinions from the field on social networking sites. During the 2011 Arab Spring, Facebook and Twitter were instrumental in spreading the protest movement. The Arab Spring is a popular uprising against dictatorship and injustice that began in Tunisia in 2010 and spread to many countries in the Middle East and North Africa. The reasons for SNS activity in Egypt are a combination of multiple factors, including a large young population, countering information control, the spread of mobile technology, increased social awareness, and its use as part of economic activity. Thanks for watching.